Mm. Come on, somebody. Put down the belt. Ooh, it's so hard. It's so hard. But it's so hard.
But it's all right. I got a book.
You got a
I got
book.
a
You
book.
gonna teach us.
I got
You
a book.
like my like my bonus dad used to say, you gonna learn me something today.
Yeah.
You gonna learn me something. Okay. Well, listen, I'm here to learn what I can learn and then hopefully pass it on to whoever is willing to learn it. Okay. And so the first thing that we're going to talk about how to be a champion for your child. And then feel free to input, ask questions, drop some stuff in the chat, whatever have you. Is being an advocate. Being an advocate, not just an advocate in your home, but being an advocate like at the doctor, while you're in public, while they're in school slash daycare, being that person that is willing to step up and speak out on their behalf, to show, for one, to show your child that you have their best interest at heart, but also to assert yourself, to let other people know that my babies mean something to me, and I'm going to speak up when I see a wrongdoing or when I see something is not going the way in which I feel as it should. How do you feel about that, Miss Nicole?
So I believe in going hard for your kids. It is one of the pillars of being a conscious parent is knowing who your child is and being able to advocate for them, even if it means advocating for them on behalf of you. It's crazy because I have a daughter. She's living in Hawaii right now with my sister.
Okay.
And this was not my choice. I did not want her to go. But she was not happy here, being in the middle school, which they separated. And this, I'm glad she's in Hawaii right now. She had a talk with her therapist. I had a talk with her. Her grades were good. It's just that she just wasn't happy here. She didn't feel like she had enough friends here and have her own community. So within her first month of being in Hawaii, she got a band solo, trombone solo. Okay. She was on the cheerleading team. She ran track for both the Army team and for the school team.
Okay.
And she just told me that she turned down Junior Olympic trials to learn how to play basketball.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, she advocated for herself.
Yes, but she learned that from me advocating for her.
Right. Right. And I think that is big, and that's very big of you as a parent, because sometimes we get in our own ego, because it's not like, you said your baby moved to Savannah. Right. Or to Atlanta. Your baby is in Hawaii. And it would have been so easy for you to say, Hawaii, you're not going to no Hawaii. Girl, if you don't get in the room and find yourself, then because we want our babies close. And because we feel, and we do, for the most part, we have our kids' best interests at heart, and we want to protect them, and we want to shield them, and we want to nurture them up under our wing. Right. But sometimes it takes outside of the household to be like, you know what? I got to take myself out of the equation and see what is truly best for my baby. And then if being outside of my household and being with another trusted adult that I know is going to still care and take care of and nurture and love and just build up my baby, then that's right. Big of you, mama, because I don't know if I'm that mature yet. Oh no, I think I gonna have to go to the room. Baby, we can do a Hawaii theme. You want some Hawaiian punch?
I've been to Hawaii before, and they say be careful what you pray for. And something I always wish for is that my children get to see everywhere that I've been. My first military duty station was Hawaii.
Okay.
So it was only natural that it came about, and it's like, okay, we got to be specific next time. We all have to go to the destination together.
together. Like this is one band, one sound. This is one band, one sound. And so yes, that's good. And I'm happy that she has found her happy and has allowed you to, to really see that you have nurtured her and guided her in exactly in the way that she should be going. And that's kudos to you, mama. Because I'm not that mature yet. I'm sorry. But yes, being an advocate for our babies and being able to speak up and taking their best interests at heart and just being what they need in that moment, that is really big and that's really important for them to be able to grow, to be productive citizens and being able to stand up for themselves.
Yes.
To stand up for themselves, because our homes is where they first learn how to stand up for themselves. And if we don't promote that within our homes, then when they get outside of the homes, how can we be mad when they don't stand up to the people outside of the homes when they was never allowed to stand up in their safe space? And so I think that's very, very important. So yes, okay, come on, somebody. Yes. Another way I think being a good champion is for your child is good relationship practices. Good relationship practices. And that's both romantic and just platonic relationships, just people that you allow to have access to your children. Um those need to be healthy relationships, healthy, sound relationships that is actually pouring back into your child, pouring into you, nothing that is taken from and making a situation more stressful. Because what sometimes people are more trusting to individuals than they are, like, let me see how I can put this. They'll give somebody access to their child before they give somebody access to like their debit card. They'll give somebody more access to their child than they will their debit card. You would drop your child off, because your child said that's your well, that's my friend parent. They said I can come spend a night. You just you dropped off, ain't met not a soul in that house, or whatever the case is. Or even if it's not at the house, they may be at like the skating rink. Well, such and such mom is going to be there. So, and you just pulling up and dropping off, you're more trusting to people. But let somebody ask for your debit card. Oh, you are offended. You are offended. I can't believe you to ask for my debit card. What type of just going out? But you will drop your child off anywhere. So which one is more important? Baby, I would rather you clear my bank account than deposit some foolishness into my child. Some people, we got to do better.
Yes,
we got to do better in life and in the relationships that we attach ourselves to, because ultimately it's not just about you anymore. When you decide to bring kids into this world, or you have kids up under your wing, it's not just about you. So anybody, more than likely anybody that attaches themselves to you, they're going to be attached in some kind of way. They're going to pour over into your child. And so what type of examples are you setting forth before your child to let them know, okay, this is how you set up healthy and effective communications. This is how you set up, this is how friends should treat each other, or this is how relationships should go. This is the standard. This is the dynamic. This is how it should go. It may alter, here or there, whatever, because everybody does not follow the same standards and things of that nature. But however, morals and principles, they stand the test of time.
Yeah.
And so what are you allowing to be around your child? I know I just sat here and said a lot. You got something to say? I know I'll be talking, because I'll be serious about these babies. I love these babies.
It's true, because even like, because I conscious parent, I also want people around my children who aren't going to be quick to pick up a belt, quick to snap at my kids, threaten them, because they're doing that to their own kids. If I don't like how you treat your children, I don't want you around my children.
Right.
So you have to have discernment in choosing your village. Everybody
Mm.
says that,
Mm.
oh, we don't want nobody to discipline our child, or I'm saying it wrong, but you know how it is. People is like, oh, you can't talk to nobody about how they discipline their child because they don't discipline in the same way. But guess what? That's how you pick your village. If you, even though I'm advocating for putting down the belt, if you out there and you beat your kids and you're okay with that, then you still need to be careful about who you have around your kids, because you don't know how they beat their kids behind closed doors. So me, I know I don't beat my kids. I don't want nobody that yells at their children to be around my kids, because we're not doing that to these kids. You're not finna traumatize my kids, and I'm here breaking up the generational trauma.
Yeah.
Because I didn't like it when I was a kid. It didn't serve me no purpose. It's not helping anybody. It stresses you out. I know it stresses me out. I don't know about y'all, but to hear the women in the grocery store yelling at their kids, I'm going to punch you in your mouth, I'm going to bust your lip, stuff like that. Why? And all the kid is doing is being a kid. Guess what? Your child act up in the store, just take them straight out. Walk right out. Walk right out. It's not that serious. Because chances are they probably need attention from you.
It's something that they are wanting. It is something that they're wanting from you in that moment. And yes, sometimes we look at it as, oh, this is such a, like you said, just walking right out the store. It was like sometimes we look at stuff as such an inconvenience, because I don't want to walk out the store because we need to get the food for the night, we got to eat for tonight. But like you said, because I've seen that, you telling this the baby that you go punch them, you go snatch them up, you go do this and do that. It's just like, really, he too.
What? And then that's all they know. And then they grow up. That's all they know.
Yeah.
Who started it? You did.
Yeah. That's what's the parental figures in that child's life has the ability to shape where their future, where their little future minds and their future selves is going to go. Because yeah, if they grow up and hearing, I'm gonna punch you in your chest, I'm gonna jack you up, I'm gonna do this, then yes, every time they're offended or every time something don't go their way, they feel like they gotta punch something, they gotta jack somebody up, they gotta do this and do that. And it was just like, no, y'all, we can really just talk it out. We can really just find another way to solve this step or solve this issue. But we get so caught up in, well, I'm just gonna jack them up right now because I got stuff to do. You don't want to take the time out to parent.
Right.
And I think that's what, because I'm guilty of it too, especially when my daughter, she was younger. It was like you don't want to, because the hustle and bustle of it all, the hustle and bustle, baby, we got to get from point A to point B because I need to be at D and E already. So it's just like, you need to come on and get it together. We don't want to take the time to actually parent. And when we don't take the time to actually parent, we create children that has this trauma, and it comes out sometimes in their teenage years, or even when they start reaching those double digits. And it's just like, what is wrong with you, what's going on with you? Well, you didn't traumatize the baby for the first 8-9 years of their life, and now they, yes, and now they big, and they have something to say, they opinionated, and now you can't take what they have to say. And it creates a, now it's the authority thing. Now the parent is trying to assert their authority, but the child feel like they got some form of authority. And it's just like, now you got a parent and a child going at it, trying to assert authority, when authority should have been asserted, should have been established in a healthy manner from the beginning. Yes. Stop calling these little boys the man of the house. Okay, that's all I wanted to say.
Oh my goodness, yes.
That's all I want to say.
Look,
I
the
don't know
only
who.
man
I
in
don't
the
know
house
who
my
that was
son can
for,
be
but
is the house that he buys.
yes,
That's it.
because it makes it difficult, especially if it's a single parent household. You've been calling this young man the man of the house for so long, and then when a man actually come in, the boy don't want to respect the man of the house because he has deemed himself, and his mama has deemed him the man of that house. And so now those two, the young boy and the actual man, is having a power struggle with trying to understand. And then it does make it harder because that's not seed of his seed. So it's just like he doesn't understand how he works and how he operates and the personality. But mama then told me that I'm the man of the house, and now you got this man in here, and I'm supposed to respect him. It's two grown men in here. No, it ain't. You 12.
And not only that, it even messes up their future relationships, because then they feel like the house that they have with their mama is more important than the house that they have with the family that they create.
Ooh, that was a word. That was a word. Maybe I can kick off a shoe and lay on the couch, and can you therapize me? Because honey, listen, and just because this actually leads right into what you were talking about, educating yourself on child development and also proper discipline. And I feel like that goes back into like that you're in the grocery stores, and the child is crying and acting out, and you want to punch him and jack him up. But is this a child developmental thing? Like, is this he or she is just going through what he's going through? Like, this, they're just a baby. Like, these are the type of things that you basically can expect out of a child that's this age, because they're learning and they're growing and they're experimenting with their environment, and they're experimenting with their boundaries as well, because kids go test you. Because they don't know their boundaries yet, so they got to test the boundaries to learn the boundaries. Yes. And so, like, are you getting upset off of just regular child developmental things? And so I think it's important for us to educate ourselves on, where is our child, where is my baby? Is this something that's important? And it's on the, what is it, the CDC? It's on the website right from the start. It's one of the websites you print out, you look it up, look at your baby's age, and these are the points on where your child should be developmentally. Yes.
Yes. American Academy of Pediatrics. I think that's what it is. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on it, please.
Yeah. Yeah. And so we have to know about where our babies are developmentally, so we won't just get all in a uproar, when something happens, and just get in our feelings and get offended and just go off. And it's just regular kid behavior that's going on. And that's with little kids to our teenagers and all that kind of stuff, because we definitely got to be, educated on these teenagers, because
look, I feel you on that one. As a parent of a teenager,
I think we got to just take a deep breath and a moment of silence, because the way what it say, you feel like my gangster be tested all the time.
You know what? With them, sometimes they think they know everything, so you have to have them write out the whole plan for you. Then you poke holes in their plan. So, hey, if this happens, what are you gonna do? If that happens, what are you gonna do? So when this, that, and the third happens, you know that they're already prepared, because you already, like you said, we set up them boundaries for them.
Have them write out the plan.
What's your plan? What you gonna do?
Yeah. Okay. Because I think mine thinks.
But it really is. You just want to know how they're thinking. Like, I really want to know what you're thinking. So if you literally tell me what you're thinking, so I can understand what you're thinking, so I can poke holes in it, because I've had real life experience.
Right.
And I've been around other people with real life experiences, which you have not. we're gonna poke holes in this plan so you can get to thinking. So once your brain starts moving, once they get in any kind of trouble,
Yeah.
if I can't figure it out, I'm gonna call mom because she poked holes in all my plans. She done
Right.
prophesized all this.
Right. And I think that's a little bit of the a little bit of the issue. They don't think that we, like I tell my daughter, I done been 14 before. That's how I got to 38, because I had to be 14. And sometimes she get offended when I say that. Well, the same way your 14 is different than my 14.
Look, her brain ain't developed yet to understand it.
Yeah,
I promise you, it ain't.
I be like, yeah, we different people, but the 14s, the 14s be the 14s, baby. and I know what be going on at the 14s. And so it's just like, yes. And so it's just like, I don't think that they really believe that we have gone through things, because yeah, you, of course, times have changed, and the way that they think, because they, we're more technology savvy and social media and stuff like that. And I tell her, yes, those are big aspects, and it changed the dynamics in how, yes, we navigated that 14-year-old. When I was a 14-year-old, we didn't have social media, so we didn't have to worry about something just popping up on the inner line and worrying about, is my mama go see it.
She
it was my mama go see it before, what I'm saying? Like, we didn't have to worry about that. We had to worry about Miss Deborah up the street, though, reporting back, calling our mom, and like, I seen your daughter walking up the road, or going doing this or whatever. So I tell you, it is aspects that are different. But baby, I've got experience. Like, I have different experiences. I ain't lived this life in a bubble, and I just got here and be like, hey girl, let me tell you what to do. Yeah. And so it's okay. I ain't gonna take my shoes off and lay on the couch. I'm not gonna do it today. But Parent Cafe, it do be my therapy session sometimes, because sometimes life be lifing.
Yes, it does.
And then listen. And then the proper discipline, that was the other one, that went along with the child development, educating yourself on the child development, because you got to make sure the discipline goes along with where the child is developmentally. You can't discipline a 4-year-old the same way that you would discipline a 10-year-old, or a 10-year-old the same way that you would do a 15-year-old, or vice versa, a 15-year-old the same way you would do a 8 or 9-year-old. So you have to know the proper discipline, when you're dealing with, your children, the children that you're in charge of, because you have to make sure that you're being effective in what you're doing, because you don't want to do anything, even discipline, and you're doing it on a different level, and it is not effective. Yeah, you're doing something, but it's not effective. So now you're just out here doing, and you talking or whatever, because you can't sit here and lecture a 6-year-old over and over, just talking. And it's just like, they is thinking about slime and Roblox and whatever, baby. They're not listening to nothing you saying. So yeah.
So it is true. You have to discipline them in a way that's age appropriate, and also in something. I also think that the punishment should fit the crime. So therefore, if it's something that's going on and you need to correct it, matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and plug my book real quick.
Come on now. Come on, plug.
So I have a worksheet in here that you can use, which I use the BELT formula. It's the acronym BELT. The B stands for breaking biases. E is for evaluating the situation. L is for love. And T is for thoughtful parenting, which is also another way of saying conscious parenting. So we can start here with the issue. Let's go back to the kid acting up in the grocery store. right? Because we all have that issue, right? Um, we're gonna break the bias by saying our kid is not just in here just to get on our nerves, just doing whatever because they're a wild child. My child is bad. We're gonna break that bias, right? We're gonna evaluate the situation. 9 times out of 10, we in a grocery store. We done pick them up from school, from daycare. They hungry. They starving. At least my kid always starving when I pick him up. I don't know if that's your kid, but you hungry too. So we both frustrated in the grocery store, hangry, trying to get food for dinner. Okay. L, love. How do we attack the situation with love? Because the child is not the problem here. The problem is we both hangry, right?
Mm-hmm.
Keep them distracted in the grocery store. You got a child that's 2, 3, 4, 5 years old. What fruit is this? What color is this? Maybe you got an older child. If you add this up, how much is it going to cost? Can you weigh this for me? Can you get this off the shelf for me? Can you put this in the cart for me? Keep them entertained, interactive, helping you so that they're not a nuisance to you.
Right. Okay.
All right. All of that right there was the thoughtful parenting. That's it. You did it. Conscious parenting. So you're going to take it over here to your action plan. So next time we go in the store, I'm going to work on colors and numbers with my child. Right? So now we go here and the reflection portion, and we go back and say, okay, we did this. We went over the fruits and vegetables in the store. Did it work? And if it didn't, you can start all over right here in the action plan with the next step. That's it. And you can apply it to anything. The example in the book is a homework example.
Yeah. Okay. Come on now.
And this book is on Amazon.
I was just about to
It's
say
on
that.
Amazon. All you got to do is type in "put down the belt" and you'll find it. If you do, can I plug myself real quick? If you do need parent coaching from me, you can go to www.ithinkilovemykids.com, and I do offer one-on-one coaching.
Yes. Plug it. Yes, ma'am. That is what I told you. That's what we're here for. Plug it on in. And so the last talking point on how to be the best version of your well no, how to be the champion for your child is being the best version of yourself. Being the best version of yourself. Can you give me, Latoya, a little bit of how being the best version of yourself um plays into being a champion for your child?
Ooh, this is a good one. Y'all, I just ended an 8-year relationship back in August because I wanted to be a champion for my kids. I got a divorce from my oldest child's father because I wanted to be a champion for my child. That man put a hole in the wall, packed our stuff. We was out of there.
Amen.
Because that's not how I want my daughter to see love. It's crazy. When I ended the relationship, our son, he was very, very upset about it. And he asked me, he was like, I can't be with my dad. And I was like, son, you can be with your dad. We're just broken up because we argue all the time. Man, them tears dried up so fast. He understood. Because they see everything that's going on. Whether you know it or not, they see everything. They even feel things. Like even when you breastfeed your child, they tell you, like, if you have problems with like latching them and stuff like that, you have to relax.
Right.
Because they can sense that. Your children sense everything. I mean, they came from inside of you. And even if they didn't come from inside of you, you adopted, they still sense what's going on in the home. They're too smart. They understand everything. I mean, they come out the womb knowing how to work an iPad.
Right.
So it's like taking care of yourself is the most important thing. I'm sitting here today because I poured into myself within these past couple of months. I when you take care of yourself, you have to pour into your self-love cup. And then I always look at it, the saucer right here, this is my household.
Mm-hmm.
So they get the overflow from me.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else, they get the overflow from that because my kids come before anybody outside of my house.
Right. Right.
Even my baby in Hawaii, she come first.
Yes.
She ain't got to be in the house. She my baby.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. And yes, that's good. That's really good because we have to get to a point to where we do put in, and I don't feel like it's selfish. It's selfish to put yourself first. It's not selfish to think of you and what are your needs and what are your wants, because if you are not pouring into you, if you are not replenishing yourself, if you are not giving yourself your needs and your wants, then you are just tearing off pieces of yourself that you really don't have available. And how can you be whole if you are tearing off pieces of yourself that you need yourself, that you need? But because people get so caught up on these sayings of, I get a shirt off my back. I'm not, and I won't.
Well,
It's mine. Because if I give it to you, then I'm gonna be cold. Nothing's gonna be here to protect me. And then what's to say of the person, you took my shirt off my back and now you have protection or whatever, and now you looking at me like, oh, or you didn't went on about your way.
yeah.
No, takers, takers, takers. And I mean, we live in a world where, you have takers and you have givers. And then sometimes, that's how relationships, but everything is reciprocated. Everybody takes and everybody gives, but you should not be in a situation to where something is being taken more than what is being given back unto you. But you only get in that space when you are healed or healing, and when you are operating with a healed heart, and with the conscious heart, and with pure intentions, and you know why you're moving, and you know why you're doing the things that you're doing, and you're making the connections that you are making. I think that is very, very important for people to truly understand and to truly get how making yourself first, making yourself priority, it is utmost important.
Well, we teach other people how to treat us by how we treat ourselves.
Yes.
So,
yes.
and like I said, our kids are watching us. So if we don't show them the model of how self-care looks like, how are they going to know?
Right.
How are they going to learn?
Right. And so, yes, that's important. Our kid, like you said, our kids are watching us. Our kids are watching us, and even in your life experience of you said something very pivotal. You had to walk away, so because you didn't want your daughter to see that type of love. Because people love people differently. And sir, that may be how you love, but that's not how I want to be loved. And that's not the type of love that I want my daughter to think that is okay, or my son. I don't want him to give that type of love. I don't want him to think that that's okay. And then, in return as well, like, because women, be, violators too.
Yeah.
And I don't want you to get into a situation thinking that a woman, abusing you or whatever is love as well. So we are the standard. The parents is the standard. And we have to take that role serious. Once we get to the point that we decide that we want to bring these babies into the world, or take these babies under our arms, we have to realize that we have a standard to set. And either we're going to set a high standard, or we're going to set a low standard. And I will end it with this quote. um it is easier it is easier to build strong children than to repair broken adults. It is easier to build strong children than it is to repair broken adults. Dealing with broken grown folks is hard. and it's
Yes.
draining.
And you can tell who was grown with love and who was grown off survival.
Yeah,
Mm.
that love and survival. That love and survival. That's one. Love and survival. Because when you're surviving, when you're trying to survive, you don't have time for anything else. All you're trying to do is survive. All you're trying to do is find your next breath, find your next step, find your next. And so you don't have time to really accept the love or accept the guidance or accept the help or accept anything. You trying to survive. And then usually when you survive, it's by any means necessary. By any means necessary. And so, did anybody have any questions? Yes, ma'am.
I do. How as a single parent, a broken single parent who's very tired in spirit, be that champion for their child when coming up, when they're growing up, being raised on into adulthood, they didn't have any champions. They don't know what that looked like. So how is that something that can be taught? How to be a champion? What do that person need to do in order to be a great champion? Because their village was raised just like they was raised, so they can't turn to the village. So what do they do?
That's a great question. And yes, that is something that can be taught. We take classes to learn about financial literacy. We take classes to learn about how to drive. We take pottery classes, art classes. We take every class that America has to offer. But for some reason, we get offended when people offer parenting classes. When people offer parenting classes, baby, especially if it's your first, you don't know what you're doing. The baby don't know what you're doing. Nobody knows what's going on. So get the guidance that you need. And even if you're on your second or third and you realize that you didn't do everything you were supposed to do with that first one, get the guidance that you need. Reach out to the resources that's here in the community so you can be that champion. You can be the one to break those generational curses, to break that trauma, to help build and possibly change the dynamic of your family. And if you can't change the dynamic of the family that you come from, change the dynamic of the family that comes from you. And so that family can grow and be healthy and happy. And so yes, take advantage of the coaching that's available in the community, and don't be offended when people are offering parenting and coaching classes. Yeah, absolutely. Any other questions?
It's not necessarily a question, but I think a great way that parents can be champions for their children is to address the small stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I know for my younger son, he complains about everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so often we want to brush it off like it's nothing, but to them, it is major.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's an email, the teacher says something he didn't like, address it through an email or a simple conversation, because at that time, one, he knows that what he went through is valid and validated.
Mm-hmm.
Two, he knows that if he knows he can come with you, or she knows she can come with you with the small stuff, the big stuff.
Yep.
She's gonna say, my mom took care of this, then I know my mommy and my daddy want to address this.
Right.
And it gives them a sense of security. When kids don't have security, they try to find it other ways. They try to find it in the street. They try to find it with gangs. They try to find it by other means. But if they know they have that security and that comfort and that support at home, they're more willing to be like, Mom, look, like, I don't know, but this teacher's stressing me.
Yeah.
And let them talk. Let them be. Don't try to change their verbiage. Let them say what they want to say, how they want to say it, as long as in a respectful way. So I think that's a great way of being champions for our children.
Yes.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yes, ma'am.
Small segue. I'm late, but I'm glad that I'm here. I promised you I would be here.
Yes.
I'm a teacher, and that's why I told you I would be here. What you said was spot on. I am always waiting for a parent to step up for their child.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell my students, when your parent comes to me, I want you to catch me slipping.
Mm-hmm.
I want a parent to catch me slipping.
Mm-hmm.
Because then I know you care about your baby.
Right.
I want you to email me.
Yeah.
I want you to document stuff on me.
Mm-hmm.
I teach my students how to catch a teacher slip. That in the first 10 days of school, I
Mm-hmm.
have a little thing, how to catch your teacher slip.
Mm-hmm.
And what we do, I said everything that I give you, if I don't put a grade on your paper,
Mm-hmm.
you've caught me slipping.
Mm.
If you don't put the date on your paper, I've caught you slipping.
Mm-hmm.
I need your parent to sign this. Everything, how to catch your teacher slipping. If your teacher said something off to you, go home and tell your mom.
Mm-hmm.
Please go home and tell your mom.
Right.
And then have your mama email me. And when your mama emails me, she needs the courtesy copy, because I teach them what CC means.
Okay.
Courtesy copy, that's not, courtesy copy and then blind courtesy copy.
Yeah.
The principal,
Uh-huh.
the guidance counselor, and your grandmama now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Make sure all of that's on there,
Yeah.
and then wait for me to respond.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And keep if I said, because I want y'all to learn, every conversation should lead to documentation.
Yeah.
Right.
So if I say something crazy to you, make sure your mama can say something crazy to me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's on paperwork.
Right.
So I'm teaching these children how their parents should be champions for them in that classroom.
Okay.
So nobody taught me slipping out.
Yeah. That's right.
But that's and I promised Patrice I would be here to share that, because I teach middle school students.
Okay.
And that's the time that everybody's tripping.
Yes.
Yes.
Everybody, your child is tripping. I'm tripping. The principal is tripping. Everybody's tired. Everybody's hungry.
Yes.
Everybody's crazy.
Yes.
And nobody knows anything. So it's hard. It's hard. We all looking crazy. Everybody's
Oh.
crazy. So I wanted to share. Make sure, believe your child. Trust your child.
Mm-hmm.
They tell y'all that teacher does not like them.
Believe
Please
them.
believe them, because she really don't like them, or he really does not like him or her. They don't. They don't.
Mm-hmm.
Look, ain't none of these schools stopping you from popping up. Pop up.
No, pop up in that email.
Uh-huh.
They don't let you in that classroom. Pop up in that email.
Mm-hmm.
Pop up, because one thing about that email is time, date, stamp.
Oh,
Pop
yes.
up in that board office. They
Mhm.
may not let you in that classroom, but they can't stop you at that board office. I'm here to share. I'm late. I hate that I'm late, but meetings. Oh. But that email is everything. It's time, date, stamp. Sign all of those papers that we send home. Read that stuff. Please read it. Sign it. Go to every one of those meetings. There are some teachers, I'm giving y'all all the trade secrets. There are some teachers that are glad when you don't. They're glad when you don't show up. You didn't show up anyway.
Because all it takes is to pop up and say, hey, can I schedule an appointment? Me, the guidance counselor, and my child.
Send it in an email. Email is writing it.
But I like the email thing. I like the paper trail. We were taught that in the military.
Everything in writing. That's the biggest champion for your child. When you put it in writing, put your baby on that email. Every child, no matter, I'm not even in Richmond County, y'all, so I'm in Richmond County. I love y'all, but I'm not coming here. But every child, no matter what district they're in, they have an email address and an email account. Put your baby on that email. Courtesy copy your baby. Put that teacher on there. Put the guidance counselor on there. Put that assistant principal on there. Don't take them to the principal just yet. You keep that in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that assistant principal, or whoever their dean is, or whoever, keep that email traffic on there. That way, somebody's going to say you didn't do, or you didn't do.
You can pull it back up.
That's where that starts. And your baby's going to think you're a superhero, but your baby is the first superhero. Because they flew in and they told you.
Right,
they flew in, their little capes. I tell my students, y'all got capes, use them.
Yeah.
By the end of the school year, they're tattered. And yours is too.
Yeah.
But we're still flying. They still work.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest part, especially as the school year is about to begin.
Mm-hmm.
Remember those for every piece of paper they send home. Read it, sign it, put your initials on everything, date it. It's getting different, y'all. It's getting different. It's getting crazy.
Okay. Well, look, I thank you. I thank you. Yes. Well, yes. I thank y'all so much. I thank y'all for coming and sitting with me today. And I thank y'all for tuning in on my online family. Thank y'all for tuning in month after month. And yeah, I hope y'all have learned something. I hope something has struck your heart and you've been taking notes, and because it's been little gems that's been dropped here and there. So please take heed to everything that has been said. Take advantage of your community resources, and just remember, you are your child's first superhero. You are your child's champion. So let's get out here and be champions for these babies. All right. And until next month, bye.